Hello and welcome to my Flipgrid tutorial. Flipgrid is a video discussion platform where teachers can post a topic or prompt. They can even attach links. Then students record a short video of up to 5 minutes long in response. Students can even reply to each other's videos by recording another video. On the distance learning resources website that we've shared with teachers under other digital tools, if you scroll down, there's this Flipgrid presentation that has everything you need to know about Flipgrid. So if you want more information, check that out. For example, there's an ideas section with ideas that we've seen on Twitter. Lots of ideas you can look through. Some of the more popular ones are recording a reading response, debates, language practice like dialogue or interviews or sentence frames, an exit ticket, stop motion, scavenger hunts, number talks, collaborative storytelling. There's a lot of uses for Flipgrid. So now let's take a look at Flipgrid from a student perspective. The easiest way to share a Flipgrid link is in Google Classroom. So here I am in my classroom, and I'm going to click on the assignment and then click on the link to the Flipgrid. Now I'll show you what the teacher view looks like later on. So as a student, I click on log in with Google and then select my account. So this is what the student view looks like. When you log in, you'll see the name of your class, or grid as they're called in Flipgrid. And when you scroll down, you will see the teacher's prompt. So this assignment is called reading response. Teachers can include a tip if they want. So this one says include transition words in your response. One of the cool features about Flipgrid is that it has immersive reader embedded. So if they click on that, they can click play
after reading for 20 minutes
to have it read to them. In the voice settings, you could slow down or speed up the reading. You can also change the size of the text or change the color of the background. Here on the grammar options, let's say you're studying nouns, you could have the nouns stand out. And if you go to this book tab here, you'll see picture dictionary. It's usually enabled by default. If I click on a word, for example here, minutes, I see a picture and then I can listen to it.
Minutes.
Not every word has a picture, but a lot of them do. And then another cool feature here is the translate feature. So if I go to choose a language, I can find Spanish, and then if I do by document, it'll translate all of the text here. And you can toggle back and forth between the original language and the one you've chosen, and then you can have it read to you as well.
Después de leer durante 20 minutos.
If you want to return to the assignment, click on the arrow to exit. And so now at the very bottom, I'm going to scroll down so we can record our response. Once you record, you'll see a bunch of thumbnails here with student selfies. And if you click on one, then you can listen to their response. And when you're ready to record your response, click on the green button. And I'll just explain some of these tools here. So if they forget the prompt, they can click on this here to see the prompt again. They can add a sticky note if they'd like some reminders of what they're going to talk about. If they're shy, they can choose this pixelation filter. There's other filters you could use too, just for fun. Students can add text or draw, and they can also add stickers. So another thing they could do if they're shy, for example, is add an emoji. And then let me change this filter so you can see. When you have an emoji selected, you'll see those dots on the end, so you could change the size, you could rotate. Another thing you can do is use boards. So down here you can click and choose a whiteboard or a blackboard. And then if this tool is enabled, you could draw, so maybe you'd be explaining a math problem. And then you could clear the board up here, or you could undo if you want to get rid of the board, because students can toggle back and forth between the board and the camera, they can just click here on the boards and then clear boards. So I'm going to clear all this. When you're ready to record, click the video camera at the bottom. And then students would answer the prompt, and they could pause if they need to, and then start recording again. They can click redo to start over, or when they're ready to move on, click next. And then, so now you can see that there's a preview. If students select the clip, then they can trim by dragging the ends. So they could trim from the beginning or the end. And then when they're done, click confirm. And then students would answer the prompt. If they want to add more, if they have more time, maybe they forgot to introduce themselves or answer one of the questions, they could add more to their video, and then you would have multiple of these clips. You can also select one to delete it. When you're done trimming your video, click next, and then it's time to take a selfie. Now, before you click next, you have more tools here. So you could decorate your selfies. That's one thing that kids really like to do. So I'll just add some hair here. And then when you're done adding whatever stickers you want to add, then click next. Students then have the chance to change their name if they need to, add a title, or even add a link. And then click submit. And then click complete. As students answer the prompt and complete their videos, this area will be full of the thumbnails, and then students can click on a video to watch it. So some things you can have here are likes, and you can also see how many times the video has been watched. I usually disable those features just because it's a bit distracting for students. Some more options when viewing here. If you click on settings, you could slow down or speed up the video. Students can also reply to the video, so if they click here, it would open up the camera again and attach a video. One last thing about Student View, if students click on their name, they can access My Flipgrid, which is another page they'll have to log into, where they can see any Flipgrid that they've responded to, as long as it's not a topic that's been deleted. Here under feedback, you would find any videos that a teacher recorded in response to your video. To get started creating your Flipgrid teacher account, go to flipgrid.com and then click on Educator Sign Up. Go ahead and sign up with Google and select your account. You'll just need to answer a few questions. When you're done filling out your information, click Let's Go. You will be prompted to create your first grid, and your grid is your class where you're going to post topics or assignments. So click on Start My Grid and then name your class. So for example, I might call mine Islas 3rd grade class. I might have another grid that I make later if I want an ELD grid or an after-school class. Next, choose how you want your students to sign in, and I would recommend doing school email since the students log in to their Chromebooks with their Google account anyway. This way they can log in with Google when they go to Flipgrid. Then click Next. In this section, you want to put whatever the ending of your student's email address is. So it might have already populated with PVUSD.net. If not, go ahead and type it in and then click Next. Here you can see a lot of different ways to share your grid with people, but you can always find that again. So I would just click Go to your grid. So it starts you off inside of your grid or your class, and Flipgrid automatically adds one topic for you. You may notice that there's two sections that have share, actions, and an editing pencil. If you look over where the title of your grid is, all of these relate to your grid or your class. Down here in the topic section, all of these relate to that specific topic. So if I click share here, then I get the code to share my grid. But down here, you could also share that specific topic. So if you're posting it in Classroom, I would recommend sharing the topic so that when they open your grid, it's on the topic that you want them to respond to. And you could either copy this link and then create an assignment in Google Classroom and add link, or you could just click on share to Google Classroom and then it'll prompt you to choose a class and create your assignment. Another thing you can do here is edit your grid. So if I click on that pencil, I can go back and change any of the information that I just filled out, as well as some more features such as notifications. So here it says receive email notifications when new student videos are submitted. You may not want to be getting so many emails, so I would probably change that to never. If you decide at some point that you don't want students to access your grid anymore, for example, at the end of the school year, you can make it hidden, in which case they can't find the videos anymore, but you will still be able to see them in your account. In this section, you can change your background, you can upload a picture, or you can choose from some of these backgrounds that are already here. So maybe I'll choose this one, and then if you make any changes, click Update Grid. Under Actions here in the Grid section, you have the option to add co-pilots, which are co-teachers, and anyone that you add has to already have a Flipgrid account. Another action you can do is duplicate the grid. So maybe you want to copy this year's grid, and that way you don't have to add the topics all over again next year. That's one option. Or you could delete your grid. This flip code here is what you would give students if you don't want to share it via a link. So I would maybe write this on the board or share it some other way, and then have students go to flipgrid.com, and this is where they would click to enter their code. Once they enter the code here, it'll prompt them to log in with Google. If you click on the flip code, then it'll show you what student view looks like. So again, it'll prompt me to log in with Google, and then now I can see the banner, how it looked in the student view, and the big green button. Let's add our first topic by clicking on Add New Topic, and then choose what you want your title to be. So for example, my assignment will be about multiplication, and then I could say watch the video and then explain one strategy for multiplying. Here I can change the maximum length of video up to 5 minutes for students. And then if I scroll down to the bottom, I can choose a focus. There's a lot of different choices for engaging your students. Recording a video is a nice option. Maybe you could record yourself doing a short mini lesson. It has to be less than 5 minutes. Or you could record yourself reading the directions. You can also add a video that would be the focus, or an image, or an emoji. There's lots of choices. In this example, I'll just add an emoji. You can search for emojis, and once you find one that you like, just select it. And before I click on Create Topic, I'm going to click on More Options. There's a lot of ways you can modify your topic. In this section, you can add a topic tip. It has to be short, less than 64 characters, and it's just anything you want to remind your students about. So it could be about looking in the camera or speaking loud enough, not talking too fast, or it could be related to your topic, like make sure to explain your thinking or use examples. I'll just say speak clearly. And then in this section, you can add up to 9 links. So in my example, I said watch the video. So I found a multiplication video. And then I'll just paste the link here and add a title, how to multiply. And then I could add another attachment if I want, up to 9. I'm just gonna delete that. And down here, video moderation. If you don't want students to be able to see each other's videos as soon as they complete them, you can turn that on. And if that's on, then you'll have to approve each one. It's a good tool if you want to make sure that students aren't being inappropriate in their videos. Status is where you can change your topic to frozen if you want your students to still be able to find and view videos but not reply any longer. That's what frozen is for. Or you could make it hidden, in which case they can't find the topic at all. You can enable student replies or turn it off. Here you can change the students' access to the filters and stickers and drawing. Maybe if you're finding it distracting having them use the tools at the beginning of the video, you could say selfies only. Or you could just get rid of all the stickers altogether and say none. I usually turn off video count and likes because those can be distracting for students. And finally, you have some options here if you want to do a custom rubric. I usually just leave it on basic feedback. So now that I'm done, I can click Create Topic. And it gives me the link, but I can always access it in my grid as well. When I want to go to share this assignment, I could just click Share right here. Or if I'm in the grid view, right now I'm zoomed in on the topic, I can go back to my grids, and then I can see all the classes I've created. In this case, it's just one. And now I have 2 topics. So I can go here to this topic and go to Share and put that in Google Classroom for my students. So now I've switched to another grid, so you could see one that has a lot of topics. I can organize these topics by just dragging them around if I want, and I have a few more options here. If I click on Actions, I can see Add Topic Guests. So if you'd like a topic to be shared with family, I can turn that on. And if this box is checked, they can also record a response. So let me uncheck that so you can see what that looks like. And then I would copy this link and then click All Set. And I'm going to paste that in another window here. As you can see, I didn't have to log in. So families don't need to log in with Google, and then I can see that it's view only, and they would click to watch the video. Some more actions you could do with topics is you can add to the Disco library. That's where you could share with other educators. I'll show that in a minute. You can move the topic. Maybe you want to move this to a different grid, or you can duplicate it. That way you're making a copy of it. Maybe I want to add it to another class, or maybe I create another grid for next year and I want to add it there, or you could delete the topic. Let's say I click Duplicate Grid, just so you can see what that looks like. You just select the grid that you'd like to copy it to, and then select what you'd want to keep. Do you want only the topic, no responses, or only featured responses, ones that you've starred? And then duplicate topic. So now I'm going to click into a topic so you can see what it looks like when your students submit videos. So in the teacher view, it's more like a list. You can see all of the videos. If you click on one, it'll open and you can watch it. You have 3 tabs here. So the first one is feedback. You could record a video here, but in this way, all students would see your video. If you want to record a private video response, you can click here. There's also the option of typing a comment or using a rubric, and you can email feedback if students have email. On the Edit tab, you can change anything a student has typed into their response, and you can also click Share to share this video with others. Maybe you want to send it to a parent and you copy that link, and then you can share on Class Dojo or in an email. Here I can see this response has been pinned to the top because I see the star is gold if I click it again, I can see that's what it looks like before it's been pinned. When you pin a response, it just makes it viewable right next to the big green button when students log in. Another useful tool is Add to Mixtape. I'll talk more about that in a bit, but if you add to a mixtape, you're basically creating a collection of videos that you can share. Another thing you could do is leave a vibe. So if I go back to edit and type here, I could type something like great job, and then students will see that when they log in, but make sure to update your response. Another thing to notice is that you have actions for the responses. So I could click here, there's the add to mixtapes, I could move a response, duplicate, and even download the video or the selfie, or you could delete the response. You could also change a response to hidden if you don't want students to see that response. If you have your topic set to moderation, all of the replies will be hidden until you watch the video and approve it by making it active. On the side here, you can notice this, here's the star to pin to the top. So once I clicked on that one, it went to the top here. You also have the checkboxes to select videos and then choose actions from here. So maybe I want to add only these 2 responses to a mixtape, or maybe I want to print out the QR codes for just those 2 responses. By the way, you can also print out QR codes here. So if I want them for the whole class, I could click over there, and then you could post these in your classroom. Students or parents could scan these with the camera app on their phone, and it would load the video. And then if they download the Flipgrid app, they could also watch it in augmented reality if they scan it with the Flipgrid app. Okay, now let's take a look at mixtapes. So at the top of the screen, I can move from grids to mixtapes, and then I can create, basically a mixtape is like a folder where you're gonna put any videos you want. It could be from one topic or across multiple topics. So when I click add new mixtape, I can title it, so maybe this one is best of 2020, and then I can choose to type a description. When I'm ready, click create mixtape. So now I want to add to my mixtape, so I can go back to my grids and choose some videos that I would like to add. So here I could select all of the videos or just a select few, and then go to actions and add to my mixtape. So now I can either create a new mixtape from here if I hadn't created that one already, but here's the one I just created, and then I'll click add. I could go and look at my mixtape by clicking here, or I could go back to that tab that says mixtapes and then select it there. To share the mixtape, I need to click here and then get this different URL. Now it looks a little bit different than when you normally view the videos. So here I'll go to another window and paste that so you could see what mixtape look like. So your mixtape loads like this with a bunch of thumbnails. Whichever one you click on, it'll play that video, and then it'll continue playing all of the videos on its own and then loop when it's done. It's a useful tool, especially for something like open house, where you just want to load the video and then go on your way doing something else. Let's say if I click on this one, it would autoplay, but if I want to, I also have the option to cycle through the videos. Another great feature of Flipgrid is the Disco library or Discovery library. So maybe you want to find lessons that have already been created. Near the top, there's some trending topics. And then you can also search using some filters. So I could search with a keyword, or I can select a subject or a grade level. So for example, maybe I'll do elementary and then technology, and it automatically filters. So I can scroll down and find some lessons. Here's one, robotics reflections. In this one, I can see the teacher provided a description as well as an attachment. Sometimes the teacher also leaves notes here. So if I do want to add it to a grid, I can go here and select a grid and then click add. Now it gives me the option to edit anything I want to before actually adding it to my grid. Maybe I want to remove view counts, and when you're done, update topic. And now I can see it's in my test class here. Another thing you can do once you find a topic, let's open this one. There's this add to faves. So if I click add to faves, maybe I want to do that if I'm not quite ready to add to my grid. Maybe I'm just searching for lessons and adding possible ones I might want to try someday. So the place you find that is if you scroll back to featured disco playlists, there's my faves here. So then I can see Janie's faves, all of the ones that I've starred. And that's the disco library. Another tool you can use is Shorts. This is just a place where the teacher can record a video using the Flipgrid camera. So you can record yourself, you can add stickers, and it still has a time limit of 5 minutes. Let's say I click on one of these videos. I also have the option to download the video or copy the link to share or share in any of these ways as well. And last of all, the Grid Pals. This is a place where if you want to have like a pen pal situation, but with video, then you can go here and find other educators on the map. You can zoom in and out. You can click on a green dot to see information about that person, and they'll have at least one way to contact them. It could be social media, or it's possible to enable email as well. Sometimes it's easier to search here. So you could search by grade level or by subject or by keyword. For example, if I say high school, then it'll filter and I see only high school educators here. If you want to be visible on the map, you can make yourself active, and then it'll ask you to update your information here. You can also update it under your profile. And if you scroll down, there's a place where you can toggle on email invites. So if you want people to see your email address, you can do that and then update profile. If you do use GridPals, I really like this GridPals guide. It has a lot of ideas of activities that you could do with pen pals. And that's about it for Flipgrid. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.